The Hypervolt is a great tool for high-intensity interval training, for movement preparation and recovery based on the type of training that you're doing that's very dynamic and very ballistic. So what we're going to demonstrate with Rachel is a total body movement preparation, and it could be used for recovery as well post-training, but we're going to focus on her calf muscles, so the gastrocnemius. We're going to also focus on the outside muscles of her hips, so the TFL and the IT band down the outside of the thigh. And then we'll have her stand up and we're going to do her hamstring and her hip rotators. And then seated, we're going to have her do her pectoralis and her upper trap muscles. So we're going to go ahead and have Rachel demonstrate that for us. And again, we'll start in a seated position where we can get the calves easy. So you have this bone here called your tibia. You want to stay off your tibia and you want to stay in the muscle belly. And if you find any areas of tenderness, you want to hold it for 30 seconds to get maximum relaxation. And again, we're going to do that on both sides of the body. And then we're going to switch. After she does those, we're going to go to the TFL. So you have this outer hip bone. It's called your ilium, and the front of it's called your ASIS. The TFL is right on the outside of that. So again, we'd have her hold that for 30 seconds for tenderness. And then we're going to have her go down the outside of the thigh a little bit more through this big area. And the muscle underneath it is your outside quad muscle called your vastus lateralis. But then your IT band is on top of that, and that can get tight when you're doing the repetitive, dynamic, plyometric type movements. Once we do the other side, we're going to stand up and we're going to do her hamstring now. And again, with the hamstring, we're going to start on the outside hamstring first. And because this muscle is so long and big, we want to get starting from right at the bottom of the gluteus maximus down to the knee. We want to go through that whole area. And again, back to the point, if you have tenderness, you want to hold for 30 seconds. Then we'll switch into more of the medial and the mid-belly portion. So right down straight, same thing. And then you can get, from there, we're going to have her do her hip rotator. So you have the ilium bone is right here in the front, and you want to go right down deep, right about there, and you want to just hold that into the hip rotators. And if you feel tenderness, hold for 30. Do both sides, and then we're going to have her sit. And then we're going to switch to get to the upper body if you're doing dynamic weight training. So we're going to go to the pectoralis major. So we're going to go right in the front, and we're going to stay off of the clavicle bone here. And we're going to stay off the bone in the middle, the sternum. And we're going to stay off out here onto the deltoid, which is where your bicep tendon comes through. And we just want to stay right in the muscle belly of the pectoralis. Again, tender points, hold for 30 seconds. Then we're going to switch to her upper shoulder into the back, which would be called the upper trapezius. So we're going to have her switch up there, and we're going to ask her to stay off of this bone, the acromion, the clavicle, and her cervical spine, and just stay in the muscle belly. And again, you want to work through that whole muscle, and areas of tenderness, hold for 30 seconds.